Funny stories from Reddit. Kids are stupid.
People who were at celebrative event during 9/11, for examples weddings or birthdays. What was the impact of 9/11 on the course of the event?
I was driving home after classes at my college, and the radio station just kept saying we don't know what is going on, but there has been explosions and we just know they came from the sky, and I totally thought aliens made first contact. I was a strange kid.
When kid is allergic to her own brother. Her brother decided to eat breakfast next to her.
Ryan was approached by a man he did not know at school. Schoolboy's drawing helped. Police track down man trying to get into school. When I was young, my father said to me, "Knowledge is power." Francis Bacon. I understood it as knowledge is power. Francis Bacon. For more than a decade I wondered over the meaning of the second part, and what was the surreal linkage between the two. If I said the quote to someone, "Knowledge is power, Francis Bacon," they nodded knowingly. Or someone might say, "Knowledge is power," and I'd finish the quote Francis Bacon and they wouldn't look at me like I'd said something very odd but thoughtfully agree. I did ask a teacher what did "knowledge is power, Francis Bacon" mean, and got a full 10-minute explanation of the "knowledge is power" bit but nothing on Francis Bacon. When I prompted further explanation by saying "Francis Bacon" in a questioning tone, I just got a yes at 12. I didn't have the confidence to press it further. I just accepted it as something I'd never understand. It wasn't until years later I saw it written down that the penny dropped.
I have the same backpack as Maggie. Except mine is blue, haha. Me too. Wait, this is my own comment.
He can't find his red ball to play with it. So I am at the dollar store to get a spade to plant bulbs in my garden. And this little shit of a kid decided to throw a fit over these larger candy bars and called his mother, and I quote, "a bitch," because she would not get him this particular bar. I was waiting for her to slap the living shit out of him, and instead she literally gave in and said, "I will get you the bigger one when we get to the register." Well, I will tell you now, I had no intentions of spending $24 on candy bars. But the look at that little shit's face as I walked out the door with all they had was priceless. Best $24 I ever spent. Hashtag take that, you little bastard. Hashtag parenting other people kids.
Nothing like being in the moment.
My little 2 years old after watching Brave.
Mama turn in a bear?
Me comfortingly, "No baby, Mama won't turn into a bear, it is okay."
Mama turn in a bear please.
Me, "Oh I see."
I am at Starbucks and the lady's 6-year-old kids next to me are like, "Daddy says he will take me to a beer bar when I turn 20, and the mom is like, "Daddy does not drink beer anymore." The kid says, "Yes he does, he just tells us to not tell you." Oh boy.
There is a gecko downstairs and the cat ate it in half.
I saw. We are all laughing a little. It will be okay, honey.
It is in half and I don't wanna go down there. It looks creepy. Will I get rabies?
No, no rabies. So this needs a little bit of backstory. My parents, German, moved to the USA when I was 1 or 2. So when I learned to talk I would speak German at home but English anywhere else. Thing is, I never realized I was flaking in 2 languages when I was little. I remember being asked by adults to say something in German and I would say a word or two because I could not think of any more. So a couple of years later, my family moved back to Germany and I can very clearly remember my mom telling me that now I would have to speak German to all the people I meet, otherwise they might not understand me. And I totally freaked out and got really quiet because I thought, how am I going to do this, like I only know a few words. So I asked my mom how they would understand me if I could not speak German. I says all this in German. Well, my mom and dad just started laughing. I did not understand why till they told me I already speak German all the time. This blew my mind.
When I was a kid, I thought water bills would only cost you if the water actually went down the drain. I would keep cups, buckets, bowls and much more under the sink to save the water. I thought I was saving my mom hundreds of bucks.
In first grade, I wanted to grow up to be a bird, and one day I remember my neck and arms being covered in little red bumps, and I thought the transformation was beginning, and I ran to my teacher crying saying I was not ready to become a bird yet, and it turned out I was just allergic to yogurt, and I was not turning into a bird at all.
I figured this was the best place to put this. I was in line behind a couple of teenagers, and one turned to the other and said, "That is fucking stupid, nobody celebrates their 0-year-old birthday."
The stupid kid would attempt to do the impossible. Do you think he needs a hand or some tips? He is trying to pick up a book.
I miss you too, and I actually did have a pretty good day at school XOXO. I accidentally did the poop. Please forgive me.
These two girls, maybe 10 and 14, decided it was a good idea to play hide and go seek in the parking lot.
A kid found this in the creek and asked if it was from the Civil War. Was muttering to herself just now. I asked what was up, and she tells me I'm trying to get the wrapper off. And I was like, what? She has a dime in her hand. Of course I laughed and had to explain it was money, and she got embarrassed and asked for some chocolate money.
Can someone tell me about the Civil War?
I can.
Tell me about it.
It is a Marvel movie. As a kid, I electrocuted myself by messing with a socket, cried and then decided to do it again 5 minutes later. Classic.
Neighbor boy knocked on the door. Often, he needs his soccer ball inflated and asks me to use my air compressor. He is holding a giant ass jar of minced garlic. And, I am like, so what's going on? We have Italian or what?
Grandma can't open the jar and I'm not strong enough, can you?
So I open the jar. He runs back and spills the entire jar on the sidewalk. Her outfit reminds me of Rick from Rick and Morty.
That is a lab coat, mate.
My 4-year-old brother told me he was scared to grow up and cried for like 10 minutes straight. Finally, I asked why he was so scared. And he said he was scared of drinking coffee. Coffee.
Story time. When I was in high school, we had to split into pairs for an exercise that used a compass. This guy and girl were paired together, and the girl, known for being a rebel, was actually working pretty diligently with the guy on the assignment. Someone from another team was like, "Oh, girl has a crush on guy." The girl suddenly wheeled around and was like, "I don't give a fuck about him," and then she grabbed the compass and plunged it into the poor guy's leg. Fucking American public schools, man.
So I was playing and I thought it would be cool to have a pet cow. Okay then, I went to the farm to get my cow and I could not. It would not let me pick it up, and all I want is a pet cow. I thought in Toka life, you could do anything and be anything, but apparently I can't have a pet cow. It is demeaningful, because I can pick up the pig and sheep but not the cow. I just want a cow and you guys made it impossible, so it would be nice if you could fix it, so I could pick up the cow and make me happy. Thanks for the game, I love it, but right now I am just so mad about the cow. Please help me get a cow, thanks. And I just have one question, why can't I have a cow? Like, I spend so much money on your game, I bought every app and I bought every add-on, I have never missed a purchase, I dedicate all of my time to your apps, I spend money, I support you, I am one of your biggest fans. And how do you repay me? By not giving me a cow, that is how. I am trying to stay calm. But please just update it so your biggest fan gets her cow. Thank you so much for reading this, cow lady.
Daddy, I want toast.
Okay buddy, here are some toast.
I don't like butter on my toast.
Flip toast over to the dry side and hands it back. There you go.
Thanks Daddy.
Toddlers are dumb. Take advantage of it while you can.
So I have two little cousins, one is 10 and the other is 7, and my aunt told them they could each say one cuss word and not get in trouble, so the older one very politely says damn, but the younger one stands up on the kitchen table, rips his shirt off and screams fuck, while dive bombing to the floor, and my aunt just stood there and stared at him because she could not get mad at him.
You could revive someone who is dead. Who would it be? My dad. He died of cancer. Haha, that is lame. I would choose Tupac. I was about 7 when one day at school big boys from 5th grade came to teach us some bad words. Said that rape was when someone gets beaten up really badly. A week later, I got detention from something stupid and said out loud at the class, my dad's going to rape me. The face of that 60 years old teacher lady.
Infants are so goddamn funny. I was holding my niece today and I just told her, I diagnose you with baby, and she stared at me with the absolute widest eyes like I would just told her the secret to life itself, so I nodded and went, it is true. You are just baby, and she stopped for a few seconds, then absolutely yelled her little head off, very seriously informed me, and face blunted into my shoulder, where she promptly began to try to eat my short.
I asked him to get clothes on to help me to do yard work, and he came out dressed like this.
The kids blamed the footprints on the dog.
I want $100, but not 100 pennies.
Sitting in the emergency and this dad and daughter were having a conversation.
I ran into a door a couple times and got a bloody nose.
Isn't that one of those things you do once and learn your lesson from?
Yeah, it usually takes me 5 times to learn before I don't do it again.
Okay, so when I was like 4 or 5, I fell down at home and got a black eye. I then refused to go to school because I was scared that the other kids would make fun of me. My mom gave me the great advice to make up a badass story about how I got it. So obviously I told everyone that I had gotten it because I fought a dragon. Yes, that was what I came up with. Believe it or not, a few days later, my mom was asked by the teacher whether she could stop me telling the story. Apparently, some of the other kids had actually started to believe my story and had gotten nightmares from it. So I almost hit a kid with my car. I was driving through a mall parking lot, and I guess the nearby school had just let out. Anyways, this kid darts in front of my car, and I slam on my brakes. And he dabs. This fucking kid's automatic response to almost getting hit by my car was to just fucking dab. His last moments would have been a sick ass dab. It was an out of body experience. My father made me believe I came out of an egg. Like a real big egg. So when I learned in school about how babies were actually produced, I came home and said, no dad, babies are born like this. And he said, no son, normal babies are born like that. You are half Thai. Thai babies come out of an egg. So after that, I was back at believing I came out of an egg. I even told the teacher, no, I came out of an egg because I'm Thai. Believe this shit for too long. I have been bamboozled.
I cooked the children, at their request, boiled eggs and toast for tea. Left them eating it and returned to the conservatory, to find Jamie with a suspicious empty plate. Jamie, what happened to your dinner?
I ate it.
I know you ate it. But what about your eggshells? He looked at me, somewhat sheepish.
I ate those too.
What the actual fuck? He shrugged.
I was hungry.
But there is a whole house worth of food you could have eaten.
Yeah, but the eggshells were here, and I could not be bothered to put them in the bin, so I hate them.
Fuck's sakes.
My 13-year-old son was sniffing really hard and moving his head all around the area he was standing in. Slyly concerned, he had lost his mind. I asked him what he was doing. He told me, "I farted. I am trying to smell it all up, so you don't have to smell it." He is a thoughtful idiot.
Had the following conversation when out running with my 2-year-old. She was in a buggy.
Starts whining.
What is up, honey?
Whining intensifies.
Stop and peer around to see what is wrong.
Feet down, daddy, feet down.
You want your feet down?
Holding her fear in the air. Yeah.
Let go of your feet.
Let's go, letting them drop back to the seat.
Is that better?
Yeah. She can't understand why she is losing.
Parents with toddlers, what was today's irrational meltdown moment?
He was already crying and got more upset because his tears kept falling off his face and would not stay on.
Fucking gravity, if I had a nickel.
You would drop it?
When I was younger, I used to stare at the sun because I heard it made you go blind and I really wanted a guide dog. LMAO.
I woke up one day recently, and as I was headed downstairs I passed by my 2-year-old daughter's room. She looked at me and said, "I like hair in my eyes." I said, "I think you meant, I don't like hair in my eyes." She yelled, "No, I like it in," and proceeded to grab fistfuls of hair on both sides of her hair and shove them into her own eyes. Playing hangman.
3. It has to be a letter. Oh, 9. Looks at wife, are we cousins?
I was out shopping with a 3-year-old, and we were about to head to our car. Another car stopped by us to ask for directions. I told them how to get there, they said thank you, and were off. Little kid had this puzzled look on her face. She asked why they stopped. I said they just needed help because they were lost. She said, "How were they lost?" "They were right here."
This is my son. Hiding. In a mesh, very see-through laundry hamper. All while whispering hide, hide, hide to himself.
Once in the 5th grade, this kid called me a homo, and I thought it meant homeless, and I was so confused I said, "Jeremy, you have been to my house."
Are you still at Jake's house? You need to come home and start getting ready for bed, it is a school night.
Snort my shit.
Walked in on my kid playing with these, I am raising a little doctor.
Nah, you are raising a little serial killer. I was like 3 or 4, and touched the engine of a running lawnmower to see if it was hot, and I burned my hand. A couple seconds later, I touched it again to see if it was still hot. I swear I'm smart now. My son, 4 years old, who has grown up watching us talk to Siri and Alexa, thinks you can talk to anything that has a screen, or is plugged into the wall. This morning, he told the toaster to order him a new Lego set. I have trust issues ever since I watched The Lion King as a small child. They made bugs look delicious and appealing, so obviously I ate a June bug, and it was fucking disgusting. I beat my dad in Mario Party, but he locked me in the family room. Can someone please send help? Okay, never mind. He only pretended to lock the door.
My little daughter fought with her elder sister and went into one room, and locked herself up and could not figure out how to unlock the door. Had to take a video of myself turning the key, then slide the phone under the door for her to watch the video. And she is out.
A child ripped up their allowance because he was not happy with the amount. His mom walked out of her room and saw this. What would you do if this was your child's behavior?
Keep it and give him a piece of it anytime he asks for more money. LMAO.
Check out our newest videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.